Hi there, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to update the handwriting video, which was my very first video ever before I had any kind of good anything. I found our old GoPro and just made the first video. So we're going to update it now that we have better audio and um, just better equipment, nicer computer. And I know a whole lot more about SewArt these days than I used to. Not that I think the directions are going to change much. All right. So what I did was I went ahead and we're going to do three different parts. We're going to do how to do your own handwriting, and you're going to need a blank piece of paper and a Sharpie. It doesn't have to be a big, fat, thick Sharpie. It just has to be something that makes thick, even lines. So you could even use, a marker like a Crayola marker. It doesn't really matter what kind of marker. It just matters how you draw it. And I'll show you how I did it in a few minutes. And then we're going to do doing someone else's handwriting. So like I'm doing a quilt for a woman whose husband passed away, and I'm doing um, the love letter. He had a love letter that he left her, and it's absolutely stunning. Excuse me, but I'm going to digitize the wording with regular fonts, but I'm going to have his signature, and that's what we're going to work with today. Because I'm going to need it anyways, I may as well include it in this, and it makes it a little bit more special. And then we're going to just use paint and our mouse, and we're going to do digital handwriting with our mouse. So that should be really fast. Alrighty, so let's get started. I went ahead and opened SewArt. We're going to start with your own handwriting. We're going to start with mine. So I opened SewArt, and I'm going to go up here to the open button. And I made a new folder on my desktop for playing around like this, for stuff that I know I can just delete. And I just keep stuff from the previous project. Okay, so here I wrote Love Mom because I am making a quilt for my son and still working on it. And I want to digitize this and put it at the bottom or in the back or, somewhere. All right, so this is, being used as well. All right, so we brought it into SewArt. And it looks like it's just two colors, black and white. I love guessing, so I'm going to say probably about 250. Ooh, 255. That's usually about the color scope that SewArt puts everything into. Uh, I know that I'm kind of getting confusing, but it's all the little pixels, all the shading and everything that makes everything different colors. So okay, so we're going to rotate it until it looks correct. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and crop it first because we have a lot of edges that we can close in on. And this will make our design fill the whole frame, as well, the whole hoop, as well as make less colors for SewArt to have to work with. Okay, so we'll go over here to end crop when we're done cropping. All right, and now we're going to resize the image. And this looks like a perfect size for my hoop. 3.9 is the max that I usually use. So in the past, we've done this in a percentage, and I'm guessing with the new SewArt update that I don't remember even getting, it changed it to do it in inches, which is a whole lot easier for most people so they can see if it fits in their hoop. Okay, so we're going to click OK. It's perfect the way it is. And let's go ahead to color reduction. And let's bring it down slowly to 100 colors. We don't want to mess it up too much. Well, I'll show you what happens if we go straight to 2 colors. Oh, that's hilarious. It turned out perfect. That's what I wanted it to do anyway. So a lot of times, whenever you take a picture with your phone, it'll like shade it out. And if you've watched the original handwriting video, you'll see what I'm talking about. So this worked out perfectly. I love that. So I'm not even going to worry about it. So I want to turn my background white though. It's just easier for me to see, and it looks better. Okay. So love, Mom. Make sure you get all the little holes. I almost didn't see that one. And I don't think there is one in the E, but because we're going to use a satin stitch, we need to go in there and put a little hole in there because the center line needs a line to follow, and that's not a line, that's a blob. Okay, so we just do a little bit of editing. It's not that big of a deal. We click on the same white that we used in the back, and you just make a hole. Simple. Okay, so love, Mom. Okay, click out of that. Let's go back to 100%. Come on, baby. Okay. And now let's go into the Stitch Image button. And we're going to choose Outline, Centerline. If we choose Outline Border, I'll show you what it does. And let's show you with the bean, because a bean looks like a line on here. So 35, no, let's make it a bean and 15 because that'll be nice and tight. So if you click Outline Border, it'll do this, which isn't so bad. It's actually kind of pretty. Sorry for the noise back there. My cat is enjoying a paper bag. Okay, so that's kind of cool, but that's not what we're going to do today. We're going to click Outline Center. We're going to choose the satin stitch. And, excuse me, in the bean stitch, you're going to do like a 2 and a 45, you know, if you're doing the bean stitch. If you're going to do the satin stitch, which is what we're going to do, we want a nice fat satin stitch, and it's the opposite. So we're going to do 35 and a separation of 2 over here. So that the length is the separation, and you'll see whenever, let's delete that and make sure it says satin. The height has to be high on satin and the length is low. And the two most popular things are satin and bean. That's the reason why I'm kind of reiterating it. The satin is high for height and low for length, and it's opposite with bean. It's low for height and high for length. So, okay, satin stitch. We have our settings and we're going to click on it. So if you go up here, click on the one, it'll show you what it looks like. And you can also zoom in and make sure it looks nice. Okay, it's not going to be perfect because you're not really supposed to use SewArt for lettering. This is just kind of a workaround. And the reason why you have to use good, let's close this, thick lines and even lines is because this is going to stay the same height throughout. So if you have like right here, oh, you know what? Let's clear stitches. Get out of here. I gotta make a little slot in between the O and the V. So they can be connected, but they have to have a difference so that the line in the center line knows what to follow. And it stays the same width. So if you make it a big open part, it's not really going to matter. It's going to stay that small width, but it's going to try to follow. I learned this from somebody in the SewArt group. It's going to try to follow the center of this line. So you want to make your lines as even and normal as possible. And now with the regular handwriting, or with, you know, the personal handwriting, like the one that we're going to use from the love letter, I don't really mess around too much with that because it's very personal. You know, I don't want to mess that. And I'll show you all why. So let's get out of here now that we've done that. Let's see if there's anything else we need to do that too. Nope, that all looks good. All right, so let's go back into Stitch Image. And the reason why we don't do auto sew is because auto sew, I've actually never used it for this, but that's perfect. Oh, I love sew art and I love discovering things. Yeah, I've never used it. I'm always a very manual person. I have to do it myself. So let's make sure that all that is correct. So let's click on that. That's going to be our L. It's not connected to anything like in the picture. This is all one, which is how it is in the picture. The M is not connected as well. Love, Mom. So it's going to do my comma last. I don't like that. But, you know, if you don't care, then auto sew is perfect for you because that worked awesome. But that's going to bug me because I want everything to just be fluid. Okay. And the reason why I'm going backwards down here, oops, I didn't mean to click in the white. The reason why I'm going backward is so that it doesn't do a jump all the way over here. Sometimes when our machine breaks the thread or comes undone, um, it's because of a jump. It has to do too far of a jump and it tries to do it really fast. So I don't want it to do that. I want it to just go right here. So it's going to go from love, comma, and then the M, O, and then M. Alrighty. So file, save as, and you can save the picture again in the format that we've created with the digital, but I'm not going to. And I'm going to put it on my new folder on the desk with everything else and make sure that it fits in my hoop. Double check down there. Been having some weird issue with color the other day, so I don't want to mess with too much anything else. Okay, let's call this Love Mom though. Love Mom. Self handwriting. Okay, save. Okay, so it's going to give us a little sew out. And whenever I get done with teaching you all 3 steps, I'm going to show you, or all 3 different kinds. I'll do the sew out and I will load up videos and you guys will be able to see what it came out like. Okay. I might want to, 35 might be too big. You know what I mean? So it might not come out perfect, but you'll get to see it and then you'll be able to make your own adjustments as you go. The bigger that you choose, the harder it's going to get for it to navigate turns, but it's still really pretty. So everything will be just a little bit jumbled, but you know, it might just be what you're wanting to do. Let's see, if you do it really, really small, sometimes if you don't have enough stabilizer beefing everything up, if you're doing it really small, it looks really choppy. So beef up your stabilizer, use the thick dissolvable stuff that you can just peel away. That stuff's amazing. Just double it up. So it's all up to you. If you're doing a smaller, you know, I'm doing this as a big 4x4. If you want this to be like half the size, I would probably bring down the height of the satin stitch. You know, the smaller the design, the lower the height. But I pretty much always keep it at 2 for the separation. I don't want it too far apart. I don't want it to be overlapping itself, you know, having a hard time. And I also don't like it being too gappy. So 2 seems to be the perfect setting for that. Okay, so we've done that. Now let's move on to, let's do a new. And now let's do the digital handwriting real quick. This is just very simple. I think I was going to do it in Paint, but we can just do it in here because it's the same thing. Okay, so freehand pixels. I'm going to choose black and I want it to be thick. And I'm going to do Love Mom again. Okay, so if you're not very good at drawing with your mouse, just practice a lot, you know. You don't have to You don't have to be perfect with the digital. Everybody gets it. You know, it's kind of cute, especially in this day and age where we sign almost everything digitally. And you know, it's the equivalent to getting something handwritten in the past. So the digital handwriting, it looks kind of funny, but just work with it. So love, Mom. Okay. And you know, if you go slow, the slower you go, the nicer it turns out. But I kind of like how silly it turned out. Okay, so that was that super duper simple. Make sure it fits our thing. So let's go down to, oh, let's crop it first because it's going to try to resize with all this white up here and we don't really want it to do that because we're going to end up having to crop it anyways. So let's crop it down. We don't need to crop anything else. Crop. Okay, still a little bit too big. 3.90. Excuse me. All right, so let's go into Stitch Image, and I'm just gonna choose Auto Sew Image and see how it goes. So set transparent color, set the white. Oh, sorry guys. That setting is horrific. So let's bump it up to 45. See how it goes. And then do Auto Sew Image, set transparent color, click in the background, and Auto Sew is finished. Click OK. File, save as. Oh, wait. I want to make sure that. Why do they do that? Okay. Well, you get the point. So if you use the auto sew image, you're just kind of up to the computer's idea of how it should go. So L, it's going to jump L and then down to the M, back up to the OVE, down to the OM. Yeah, see, I would not do it like that. And I'm not going to do it like that because that will make me crazy. Okay, so it's worth trying. I mean, it might work the way that you do it. You know, this is just from my perspective. So let's go ahead and click the L, OVE, comma, down to the M, over to the M. And that way it goes L to the OVE, comma, down to the M, over to the O, and then over to the M. Alrighty, so File, Save As, Desktop, into the new folder, save it as a JPG. Oh, I must not have saved the last one as a JPG. Okay, so digital. Oh, I don't think I saved it at all because I didn't need to. Okay, so I was wondering why I didn't remember it. Okay, so digital handwriting PES, pattern size, and we're going to keep that in the new folder as well. Okay, so now we're going to work on the part I'm most excited about. This is what made me even learn SewArt in the first place because my mom passed away a while back, and I always want a piece of her. Everybody does, they want a piece of their mom, and I didn't know how to get that, really with sewing. And I had the idea one day to do that, to digitize her handwriting. So I looked over my husband's shoulder a few times and learned from him on SewArt. He just bought the program and started using it, and I just kind of looked over his shoulder and learned what I felt like was enough to try to figure it out myself, and I just ran with it. So I'm really excited about that because it's taught me so much. I've met so many wonderful people who've been really, really extremely helpful, and I just love embroidery so much. Just have so much fun. Okay, so this is the love letter. I'm working on this quilt, and I'm going to digitize the morning in Yuma and the sunset in Yuma, or the sunrise in Yuma and the sunset in Yuma, and then I'm going to digitize the part that says "You are the blessed event of my existence." I'm going to, digitize. Well, I might not digitize. I might just do it in big applique letters. But then I'm going to digitize "All my love, Carol." So I'm just going to read it real quick. You are the blessed event. I'm guessing he's meant blessed. You are the blessed event of my existence. You are my sunset and sunrise, so gorgeous and refreshing. I'm so proud of you. Thank you, Lord and Betty. All my love, Carol. So really, really, really sweet. First time I ever read that line, "You are the blessed event of my existence," it almost knocked me to my knees. I was like, that is the sweetest thing. Okay, so we are unfortunately going to crop all that out. I just wanted to share it with you. So when you take a picture, you're going to crop it as close as you can to the part that you want to digitize, and try not to cut off anything of what the original writer said. I am it's a big deal to me to preserve as much of the truth of how they wrote it, especially if they've passed away, because they can't recreate that. All right, so let's go ahead and make it as big as we can for our hoop. Click OK. I'm trying to decide if I want to take that and use it under that, but I don't think that that will go with how I want it on the quilt. So let's just stay with this. Okay, so let's zoom in really good. And you see all the pixels, all the little different lines and shades and stuff, especially all this pink and things like that. So we are going to go ahead and go to the color reduction and see 120 colors. Okay, so we want to highlight this Carol part, this All My Love, the black part specifically. Okay, so let's go into color reduction and let's see about down to 80 colors, see how much it changes. We can't, maybe we can. Last time I said we can't and we did. So let's go straight to 2 and see what happens. Look at that. That's fantastic. Okay. Oh, that makes me so happy. I can't believe that that happened. That usually doesn't happen. Like, usually have to go in and get rid of all the different colors in between and the pink and stuff like that and do a lot of erasing. Oh, that makes me so happy. So go down to 2, click OK. Okay, and we're not going to use I'm not going to try to change the background because there's so many different colors down in there. There's so many different, spaces that are different. Okay, but we are going to use the eraser. We're going to use the dropper tool so that we can keep with the same gray in the background. And we're going to get rid of this stuff up here on the top. Okay. Oh, this is cool. Okay, now with personal handwritten stuff like this, especially with somebody who's passed, it's not going to be perfect and it's not going to come out, amazing and gorgeous because we're going to use the regular uh, default stitch. And the default stitch is pretty, but on small stuff, it kind of chops it up. But I think that with, the stabilizer and stuff like that, it'll make it look really nice. I mean, I've done my mom's and it turned out really good. So we erase those things. And I know that I like to preserve everything as much as I possibly can. So I'm not going to mess with it too much. But I am going to go into a couple of places and kind of just thicken up the line a little bit. Okay, so is that, oops. Don't forget your dropper and pick the same color. Okay, let's get rid of that. Oops. That's too fat. Okay, so I just want to get rid of any like little lines in between there, and I want to connect any lines that are disconnected. Whenever you try to digitize something and it jumps all over the place, you might not notice it's because it looks like this says all, but it's not all connected. Look how close. So it's going to fill in this bottom part, and then it's going to say that you need to do next step for this. So you don't want to do that. Let's just get them connected. Minimal amount of change as possible. Okay. This needs to be connected. This needs to be connected. Okay, so that looks like it's all good. Oh, I didn't need to do that side. Okay, so, and fill in little things like that. Digitizing is really fun, but sometimes it's very tedious if you want really good results or even subpar results. If you want results that don't drive you insane with them jumping everywhere and changing colors and stuff. Okay. You just kind of want to take your time and go through everything, make it nice. And now I'm sure other people out there can do handwriting on SewWhatPro, and it's probably tons easier that way. So I encourage anybody that knows how to do this stuff to please post it and make videos and do everything, that you can to help us. We're all in this together and try to help us figure this stuff out. Okay, so yeah, let's just go ahead and close those up. Close that up. That line looks good. Those lines. Okay. Okay, so that looks good. Now, I don't know why, but I feel like I need to double check that. Okay. And now let's see the crop button. Oops, sorry. Let's zoom back out. Oh, that's why we don't crop it higher, because of the Y. Okay, so now let's go into our stitch image, and we're going to go ahead and just choose the fill 19 default. Okay, we can do a bunch of different fills, but it's not going to really help us on this because it's so small. So let's go ahead and go to the default again. And we can click, I believe the way that Lenora Porzillo is teaching on doing not handwriting, she was using, I believe, clip art, but you take the underlay off, and I could be totally wrong and messing everybody up, but it looks like because of the underlay off, it helps it not be so dense and not chop it up. So, oops. What is going on? Nope, I forgot to click out of the crop. Get out of there, please. Okay, let's go back in there. Okay. All right, so, and then I wish I was paying so much attention, but if you want to unclick the underlay, you can do that, and it sounds like it makes it a little bit easier. I'm going to go ahead and keep the underlay for now, and you can click the auto sew image, set transparent color, and set the background. Okay, so, and this looks easy. It kept all. Oh, it's going to start with my love and then go back to all. See, I've been trying to use auto sew image more with my teaching because I want you guys to all, I want it to be as easy as possible, but it's just not working the way that I like it. Okay, I would start with all, my love, and then go to Carol. That makes sense to me. I don't know why the computer thinks that my love should start Carol. Oh, that's just weird. Okay, so save as JPG. In case we have to do it again with the handwriting on this one, let's just go ahead and click OK, and we'll save it as a JPG. We'll call it Carol. That's simple. Okay. And then there's the PES. Make sure the pattern size is good. Click Save. Oh, it looks like it's going to be pretty. Okay, so now I'm going to do the sew outs of all of these, and I will be back with you guys in a minute. Thanks so much. Okay, so here's the first printout of my actual handwriting. I took it out of the hoop to take the pictures, so that's why it's all jumbled looking. But it looks like the setting of 35 and 2, well, it probably also has a lot to do with the fact that I just went ahead and sewed it out on the stabilizer, but 35 looks like it might be a little bit too much, so maybe go down to 25. Excuse me, they'll still give you a really nice satin stitch. So this is a 45 and 2. Again, I'd probably go down as well on those settings. Or it could be just the fact that I'm using it right on the stabilizer. But this here is the digital handwriting, so the one that we did with our mouse. And then the one for Carol, I did the top part, or well, I did the All My Love Carol, and it came out so small that it really chopped it up really bad. And I knew it was going to chop it up anyways, um, but you can't really tell what it says. And inside of there, you can see the dissolvable stabilizer that I used. But I went ahead and went into Sew Art and just cropped out the All My part and put Love Carol. And I think that that looks pretty. I will probably go ahead and just use that one for whenever the time comes. If you have any suggestions or any kind of help with this kind of stuff to make it better, that would be awesome. I'm not by any means the best person out there teaching. I just, I'm teaching from my perspective, and I really hope that it helps. And I hope that somebody who does better will come back and kind of guide the rest of us. Alrighty, thanks so much, and thanks again for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye bye.